In 2017, the online retail giant Amazon made a major announcement. They were going to build a second headquarters outside of their Seattle home. They called it HQ2. Hundreds of cities vied for the HQ2, hoping for a transformative project that would put their cities on the map. But now, 8 years later, has it delivered on its ambitious promises? Let's take a closer look into Amazon's HQ2. First, let's look at the events that led to Amazon's HQ2 announcement. Amazon was founded in 1994 in Jeff Bezos' Bellevue, Washington garage. Throughout the 90s, the company would bounce around a variety of offices in Seattle as they rose to prominence as a major player in the still novel internet age. And by the late 2000s, they decided to build a permanent home in Seattle's South Lake Union neighborhood. Amazon was undergoing a tsunami of growth, and it brought Seattle along for the ride. By the mid-2010s, Amazon occupied 8.1 million square feet of office space across 33 buildings in its South Lake Union campus, leading the Seattle Times to call the city America's biggest company town. But Seattle, and also Amazon, was beginning to feel the squeeze. With gentrification and skyrocketing rents, the company was increasingly viewed as a pariah in its hometown. Amazon needed more space, access to a larger talent pool, and perhaps greener pastures. Enter the search for HQ2. In 2017, Amazon announced their plans for a second headquarters. Their new site would be somewhere in North America. It would cost up to $5 billion to build, and it would host as many as 50,000 workers. Amazon asked municipalities to submit bids for potential sites as well as incentives packages. They indicated a strong preference for sites that were within 30 miles of a population center, had easy access to highways, mass transit, and an international airport, and had the potential to fit up to 8 million square feet of office space. HQ2 was the type of project that planners and civic boosters dream about. Bringing in one of the largest companies in the world, the project represented a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to permanently and dramatically change the economic makeup of a region, and cities jumped at the opportunity. In all, 238 proposals were sent to the company. Amazon narrowed the pool to 20 finalist cities, but ultimately, in 2018, they announced the winner. Amazon's HQ2 would be split between two sites, one in Queens, New York City, and another in Arlington County, Virginia. Both locales offered lucrative incentives packages, with the Commonwealth of Virginia offering $575 million in conditional cash grants, and the state and city of New York offering a total of $1.525 billion in tax credits. Cities were quick to complain that the deals looked a lot like corporate welfare, that Amazon, a company with a near $1 trillion market cap at the time, could afford to build a new headquarters without incentives. And this was, of course, all to Amazon's plan. They effectively had created a bidding war. Of course they could afford to build their own headquarters, but why not seek the most lucrative deal they could? But the company's New York critics were loud. Leaders like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rallied against the siphoning of tax dollars toward Amazon and away from basic services that could benefit all New Yorkers. Critics also voiced concerns over rising housing costs and the potential gentrification that Amazon would bring to Long Island City. In short order, Amazon balked. In early 2019, they announced the New York City project was canceled, and they doubled down on Virginia. The Virginia campus would occupy a part of Arlington County, newly dubbed National Landing, just across the Potomac from Washington, D.C., and adjacent to the Pentagon and Ronald Reagan National Airport. The neighborhood was once dominated by brutalist, underused federal office buildings, but was in the midst of a transformation into a walkable, mixed-use, dense urban hub. The Virginia location offered access to a highly skilled workforce and a well-connected East Coast hub for the company, with close proximity to the nation's capital. It also offered a transit-dense urban neighborhood similar to its Seattle HQ1. Amazon's campus plans were divided into phases. The first phase, Metropolitan Park, would include two 22-story office towers with 2 million square feet of office space in total. Designed by ZGF architects, the towers resembled the somewhat generic corporate architecture of the Seattle campus. Met Park opened in 2019 and now reportedly houses around 8,000 employees, and the neighborhood around it appears to be bustling, with new housing, improved transit facilities, and even additional corporate relocations that have followed Amazon's lead. Amazon's second phase, dubbed Penn Place, includes 4 proposed buildings designed by MBBJ. Are conventional office buildings akin to those at Met Park, and one has a unique helical form, unsurprisingly dubbed the Helix, and clearly a counterpoint to the spheres at Amazon's Seattle HQ. Phase 2 still has yet to break ground and is currently on hold. The timing of the pandemic and slow crawl back to the office has certainly played a role, as well as the post-pandemic tech slowdown. So for all the buzz over HQ2, the end result has been somewhat anticlimactic. While it has brought transformation to Arlington County's National Landing neighborhood, it's fallen well short of the massive, dramatic vision spelled out in Amazon's original announcement. It's a reminder that corporations, first and foremost, serve their own interest, and relying on them to single-handedly revitalize a city is never a sure bet. In Seattle, Arlington, or otherwise.